Unfortunately, I was in Facebook yesterday. Unfortunately, because what popped up, I couldn't get out of my mind after I saw it. I saw a guy with a circle on his forehead. He was turning uh, one of like Ed Davidson's yo-yos. He had this little yo-yo that he was turning to do, and it was going to be for his grandson, his grandnephew. Whatever. It came off. No shield, safety glasses, but he is going to live with a depression in his forehead for a good long time. Now, is it inconvenient to wear the hood? Inconvenient to have a shield on? Inconvenient to protect your face? No, it's kind of in rules. It's like you don't go jogging down an interstate in the dark. A couple of things you just don't do. Don't turn without a shield or protection. And I saw that yesterday and it stuck with me. I've had my bell rung. You might have had your bell rung. But let's tighten up. Even on these little bitty projects that we're showing you, let's tighten up and go with the safety gear. And if you see somebody doing something foolhardy stupid, I use that term loosely, foolhardy stupid, when they're turning, you don't have to follow them. You really don't. What you do is your choice. So if you see me step back up to the lake and do something that's totally stupid, don't follow. Feel free to write me and tell me, call me, whatever. But just take the step out first, okay? And I did say call me, but you haven't been around a while. I don't answer my telephone anymore. It's only here for my wife to call me and me to call her. It's part of the healing process. And I have no problem. Where are we going?
Well, so a couple more safety. So Brent's got something to share for safety, and then after Brent's done with safety, I've got something to share that I saw on Facebook as well. So let's go to Brent, listen to what he's got to say. And
so a month or so ago, I hurt my knee pretty badly, and then I was kind of healing up, and I was out in the shop here a couple weeks ago and twisted my knee, found myself on the ground, unable to get up, ended up having to drag myself back into the house, kind of doing some yelling and screaming, trying to get the wife's attention, and there was stairs involved and snow involved. It was an interesting little story. A good time was had by everybody. But it occurred to me I needed some sort of way to call for help from my shop. I did some research trying to find some different ways to do that. And there's some different commercial products out there. A lot of them are expensive and have hardwire involved. And due to my limited mobility right now, I kind of out of my ability. But I came up with a really neat idea that just kind of seems going to work for me. And I just thought I'd share it with you. A wireless doorbell. I got this wireless doorbell thing. I put the button in my shop. I put the receivers in the house here. It's got some neat little ringers on here that I put kind of different ones in the house here. So if I need help, all I have to do now is push this button in my shop, and the wife is alerted that I need help in the shop. So just a little idea I thought I'd share with everybody here in case somebody else has kind of situations similar to that.
That's a great idea, Brent.
idea.
One of my
That is a
neighbors,
great idea, Brent.
one of my neighbors was doing like I used to. When I cut the front of the house, I'd cut 5 or 6 other houses, clean up the neighborhood a little bit. I went over there one day. He's riding around his tractor, and he had a doorbell button tied around his neck. And I looked at it, I said, "What is that?" And he says, "Oh, if I press this a few times, the whole world's going to come outside to see what I'm up to." Because his wife just hears the lawnmower. She would never hear him holler or bark or anything else. So, it was a great idea. I never thought about having it in the shop, but it's something you can have out in the yard, the garden, when you're cutting grass or whatever. It's a way for us of the advanced age to let folks know we need assistance. Great idea.
It really is. My shop's 75 feet down the hill. So yeah.
They're fairly expensive. the one I got was $40. There's some of them out there for about $20 and such. They're not there that pricey, so very simple. So
Yeah, I
Brent?
have a. Can you put a link in the chat for that? That's a good idea.
yeah, I'll put the link in for the one that I got. It had
Okay.
one I picked it because my shop's in a steel building and such. So I picked the one with the greatest range, thinking that maybe it would have better transmitter to get through the steel building, and it kind of barely gets through it and such. But and I got one with 2 receivers, so I put 1 receiver in each end of the house and such. So, but there are cheaper ones out and such. So just kind of, there's a lot of them out there. So I'll put the link for the one I got. So
Yeah.
Do you
I
have this mounted on the
on.
wall?
I just stuck the doorbell on the wall with sticky strips and such next to the wall by the door.
Yeah,
So-
is it gonna be low enough that when you do fall and can't get up? then
Yeah.
you'll reach it?
Yeah, I can reach it. So,
Good.
Yeah, I have
Yeah,
an arrangement
use-
with a neighbor.
I use
I-
my cell phone because my wife is not always here. So with the cell phone, if you had to, you can always do 911 real easy.
that's what I was supposed to do, but I forgot to have my cell phone on me at that point.
Yeah,
Yeah,
You can also get multiple buttons. So you can put one on your lathe at like the knee
Yeah.
level of your lathe if you've fallen, or you can put one at the shoulder height of your lathe if you're able to get up to that height, or at the doorway. So you can
Yeah.
have multiples if you like to, just in case, depending on the situation where you fall or if you're incapacitated in some way.
yeah, I have an arrangement with my neighbor. So that if my car alarm goes off, he comes over to check on me, and I have my dongle off my car in my pocket at all times. And so if he hears my alarm go off, he checks on me. It's pretty cool.
Good move. That's sharp. Yeah. Solving problems.
Get along with your neighbor.
Dane, you had something else to add?
Yeah, so earlier in the week, I saw a post on one of the beginner sites. And of course, it was a guy, he had stitches going up the side here, and then he had stitches going across. And so and he had a picture of the bowl. So he was turning a piece of punky, rotten wood. He had a recess, and based on the picture, the recess wasn't cut properly. And so according to his story he was being rushed. He just wanted to finish up and do a last shear scrape on it. And he was being rushed to go to town by his better half. And so he decided not to put his shield on. And as he was lowering the tool down, he obviously wasn't paying attention exactly what he was doing, and he put it on, and he got a violent catch on it, because you can see in one of the pictures, you can see the chunk of wood that came out right where the dog food bowl was going around the side. And he caught it, and it split, and then it came up and and busted him in the head really good. And so he was just putting out the warning, make sure you wear your face shield. It only takes a second to put your face shield on. So there's really not an excuse to put your face shield on, regardless of what you're doing. And you see various posts like that all the time. And then, through the comment sections, there was a whole bunch of people that were saying, oh, because of this, I went out and ordered myself a Euvonics face shield, and a whole bunch of people were doing it. Oh yeah, I've learned my lesson from seeing what happened to you, and oh my God. And I just can't believe people are actually turning without the proper PPE of having a face shield. And the thing of it, and then there was other people, they were asking, what's the best one that's going to prevent that from happening? They don't they don't make a face shield that's going to prevent you getting busted up. That face shield is going to prevent, it's going to absorb the kinetic energy of that piece flying off. You're still going to get hurt, whether it breaks your skin or if it just leaves a really bad bruise or possibly leaves a concussion, or worst case, breaks your orbital, breaks your nose, breaks your cheekbone. You're going to get hurt and you're going to know you've been hit with something.
It'll just save the stitches.
Yeah, right. Well, then once it heals, go ahead and get that tattoo, of barbed wire, to really make it look distinguished.
Yeah,
But,
Dan-
People buy,
always wear your face shield. There's no excuse for not having enough time to put your face shield on.
Yeah, Dane, when I was
Get the-
first starting out though, I taught myself to do everything wrong. And this was back before there was the internet. I never heard of a face shield until about 7 years after I started turning, I took a class, learned what I was doing wrong, and then learned about a face shield. It just, until you're exposed to somebody who knows what they're doing, that makes all the difference in the world too.
Yeah. Yeah, I hear what you're saying, but at the same time, when you're sitting there turning and you've got all these wood chips flying at your face, at some point you got to be thinking, wow, there's got to be something that I can put on to prevent that from going on. You know what I mean? Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
you don't just, that's, and then, and I'm not, giving you a hard time about it. Because I'm sure there's a lot of people that went, through the same rationalization about it. But, I started off with flat work, so I always wore, full face shields or full safety goggles,
Yeah.
because of that aspect. And for whatever reason, folks, when they, like you said, they're, starting out with turning with no safety, and squinting and, and trying to block it with your hand, surely, you would want to search out and, and find that, find some type of safety shield that's, it's going to block it, but I'm glad nothing happened, and I'm glad you got a face shield now. So that's the good thing. So
Well, I'm here to tell you that face shields work. I've been hit twice in the face shield, and thank goodness neither time did it get through and hurt me. But I did break one face shield, but yeah, I believe in them now.
yeah, definitely. And then so along those lines, you got your face shield, and you have a blow up, and a piece comes up and hits that shield. You need to immediately go put on a new face shield. You should always have a spare on hand,
Mhm.
because that face shield is now fractured. It is not going to absorb that amount of energy the next time it happens. It's going
I
to
didn't know
break,
that.
and it's going to leave, some serious lacerations on top of the blunt piece of wood coming through and hitting you, so you should always have a spare on hand. And, and if a piece comes off and hits you, you should be swapping that out, regardless if you can't see anything on it internally. That plastic has been compromised.
Didn't know that, but I'll remember that.
and bottom line is, on safety gear, PPE, whatever you want to call it, the bottom line is, how much does that cost you to buy it? What does it cost you if you don't buy it? Say, I worked for a general contractor one time that would issue you one pair of rubber safety glasses a year. And after that, it was up to you to take care of. But they'd always tell you, put those glasses on, put the glasses. They were going about it and then spending $1 to save a nickel. We had more eye injuries after the glasses got mandatory than before, because it was, you were forced to wear something that wasn't good. A lot of us went to the old style snap overs and stuff, and it was really nice. I went to the Uvex, the Bonix by Uvex, get it off of Amazon. I stepped up a notch in the shield to the one that's polycarbonate that's a little more durable,
Yep.
just in case the bell gets rung again. Scott showed us where his exploded a while back, and it was that type of shield. I remember the details, but thank goodness he had the shield there. All right,
Hey,
it's
Eddie.
time to go. Hey, go ahead.
Can I add something just real quick?
Sure you can.
I'd just like to say, I think we need to emphasize to anybody new to wood turning that it could be just as unsafe as dealing with dynamite. So before you start doing it, research wood turning and find out the safety points and things, before you start turning.
I agree. I agree.
I'd rather play
Like I
with
said,
dynamite.
it can be just as dangerous as dealing with dynamite. You wouldn't go out and deal with dynamite with
Dynamite's a lot more
dangers
fun
of it.
though. Dynamite's a lot more fun.
Yeah, it's always
It
fun to
is.
blow stuff up.
But you see, with dynamite, you get to
Right
see some smoke
situation.
first.
Hey, Eddie,
A whole lot of smoke and then a boom. Go ahead.
yes, I'm from Michigan. I think you ought to even, as you step into the shop, wear a face shield because your drill press has a danger. Every machine that you have out there has a danger to it. So if you're
Bandsaw.
not wearing the face shield, you could get in trouble.
You could technically hurt yourself that bad enough to have wanted a face shield with a screwdriver. So, yep.
Thank you.
I agree totally, and I have 4 face shields in my shop. I have one on every power tool. So I don't
Good
have to
move.
go looking. I got the best one on my lathe, but I still protecting my eyes from my huffing wheel,
Yep.
which throws off little tiny particles. And the skill saw, or the table saw, which has really chunked a good one off of my face shield before. I got 4 in there, and I really try hard not to do anything with power tools without one.
Yep. Yeah, always protecting the eyes, no matter what I'm doing.
Even
You
if
got
you're grinding tools, I mean, if you get a catch on
Exactly.
an aluminum oxide wheel, that wheel can blow up. So I mean, I'd wear a face shield even when I'm sharpening tools.
I do too.
and somebody thinks, why are you harping on safety? It's just like you wouldn't go jogging down the highway in the dark. Don't go turning wood without taking the proper precautions to protect yourself. That's all. Not overbearing about it. Just protect yourself.